Tiger fans, Greenville What's up, Tiger fans? It's Morgan Thomas here. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you are in on this last minute, spur of the moment, fireside chat. Fireside because we are going to have a fire. Let me put the fire on the screen. Here we go. Oh, wait, the fire's not playing, so we got to play the fire. No, not a cat trumpet. No. Well, okay, yeah. All right. It scared me there. I was hoping it wasn't a cat playing a trumpet, but here we go. Hopefully you can also hear the fire. Let me know in the chat if you can hear the crackling of the fire. We're at the campsite here. And today we're going to be talking about Clemson as we always do, but we're going to be talking about anything you want to talk about as well. Get in the chat and let me know. Hit the like button too. I literally have prepped nothing, but we're just going to be talking about whatever we want to talk about. And I thought maybe we would just kind of look online, see what's out there, see what articles are up. Maybe Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, TigerNet, Clemson Insider, who knows? Talking about anything. Mark Palmer gets in. Hey, Mark, thank you for getting in. Thank you for being the first person to get in and being so faithful over there on Facebook. He says, what's up, Morgan? Let me throw him up on the screen. What's up, Morgan? I'm doing good. You know, I had a good day. It was a very busy day. I got to visit an agency today. Went downtown Greenville for the first time. And normally I don't go downtown. Normally I stay at home most of the time because I work from home now, most of the time. But was able to go downtown Greenville. It's such a nice area. But you know, the thing about downtown's area is that they're always doing construction. I mean, big cities, I guess, are always that way. There's never a dull moment as far as a construction worker goes. So they're constantly doing work, you know, but they're really constantly doing work in Simpsonville too. So I mean, I say one thing, but you know, It's everywhere. There's always road construction. It's never ending. If you want a job that can make you to retirement, do like Alan and get into the Department of Transportation, because it's going to be there for you for the rest of your life. Again, this is Clemson Fireside Chat, Volume 1. Get in the chat. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. I have literally no plans, but I do have my phone here, and I got a little tripod. And on the tripod, this is like, I don't know, I got this little tripod here, and I know it's red. I'm sorry, it's red, but it's not orange. But they really don't make an orange iPhone. If they did, I would get one. If they got an orange iPhone, that'd sell out. I'd be honest with you. But I got it set up here so that I can read whatever I want to read. But also, got the fire going. Hopefully, keep you warm. Tell me if you can hear it. I was supposed to turn the volume on. The volume's supposed to be on. So hopefully, I got the volume up. So hopefully you can hear it. I can hear it in my ear. But Bill Lanham gets in. He says, show Big Al's basketball moves. Well, Big Al is a very good basketball player. He's pretty humble. He doesn't like to talk about himself too much. But there have been plenty of games where I finished with 35 assists and he finished with 45 points. So I was just the guy who passed Big Al the ball so that he could score. He was basically the big point scorer. Allen can dunk too, by the way. So he's about, I don't know. He says he's like, I don't know. I think he's 6'3". Maybe he's 6'1". I don't know. But Allen is way taller than me, and he can dunk. I can touch the rim on a good day. So I got a little bit of hops for a short guy. But Big Al can definitely score. He's pretty good at three-pointer, too, and he practices a ton, or at least back in the day he practiced a ton. So, yeah, Big Al's basketball moves are legit. He's won many of games. We went undefeated, I think, my senior year, and then when I got into college, I tore my ACL twice. So I kind of hung up the basketball shoes since then. JP gets in. JP is a writer over at allclemson.com for Sports Illustrated. Love his stuff. Please check his stuff out. He's been a friend of mine. Literally, he and I started getting onto the Clemson scene at the same time. And so, I've always wanted to support him. Humble beginnings, but JP is definitely going places. He's got great writing. I don't think he's traditionally trained in writing, but man, he's just naturally gifted. Just so good. So I love hearing his stuff, reading his stuff. JP says, so close to that fire, and as hot as it is, it seems like you should be sweating. Well, I know it's warmer probably down there where you're at, but it was definitely warm today. Definitely pretty warm today. And it's supposed to be warm the rest of the week. So I'm going to be probably staying inside, hopefully. Bill gets in, says, tell me about the softball game that I missed. Well, Bill, first of all, the seats were amazing. If you don't know, Bill has season tickets for Clemson softball, and he allowed me the opportunity, me and Annabeth, the opportunity to enjoy the final Clemson home game of the regular season. That was Sunday. And I love it altogether. Just being able to spend time with my daughter and going to the games and watching young women out there just do their thing, play amazing and super talented, way better than I ever could be at baseball or softball. But it was really good. It was a great game. I was hoping for a win. They got a win, and they got a win in dramatic fashion. It was very warm, though. I'll be honest with you. Just like today, I got a little bit of a sunburn, in my my neckline here. I got a farmer's tan, a little bit deeper, and my watch. I have a little watch tan now. So it was pretty hot. Now when there were cloud coverage, so when the clouds came in, that helped a lot when the clouds came in, and helped kind of break up getting burnt, getting toasted. But actually most of the fans, like when it got towards the end of the game, they actually went and stood up at the top in the concession stands where there's an awning there where it's shaded. And so I started doing that after the sixth inning. When they were out, when the Clemson team was out in the field, I would go and stand. Annabeth and I would stand in the shade to cool off, and then we would go back down to bat when they were batting. Um, we met the couple next to us. I want to say the last name Henson. The son played baseball at Clemson, and some other places. Apparently, he was a pretty good, you know, baseball player. He actually was telling me a story about how his son came back and beat Clemson as a baseball player. So he was like one of the few Clemson baseball players to come back and beat the team that they were with. So that was kind of interesting, but yeah. So the game was fun. It was a lot of good pitching. Reagan Spencer did great. She kind of wore down a little bit towards the end. They went up early 2-0, I believe, and then later on gave up some runs to make it 2-2. And then they put Millie Thompson in there, and Millie Thompson, she's so animated, she's so exciting to watch, and she's like a boxer out there. I mean, she's like Bill Goldberg. She's like the Hulk Hogan, The Rock. I mean, she just goes out there. She's got this facial expression like she's gonna tear you apart, and she does the kind of like a tennis player grunting as she throws the ball, and I love it. I just love everything about it. And she wears the crazy Viking hat with balloons on the horns, and she does the row the boat on the fence of the dugout. She's just so animated. She's an amazing player, and she's gotten better over this year. I'll be honest with you, I think she's their ace pitcher. I said this on Twitter. I think that Millie Thompson, with Valerie, I think Valerie they've got, like, the opponents have film on her, and she's not been able to blow by people like she used to last year. And so she's going to have to figure it out. She's going to have to go through some growing pains. And Millie Thompson has this nasty changeup that just gets everybody. I mean, I think she struck out the side at least once when she got in. So it was really fun to see her. And then really amazing to see, Maddie Moore get up there. Maddie doesn't have the best batting average. She's batting, I think, last in the lineup. She's a true freshman. She's still figuring out. She's from California. She played California Love when she gets up there. And I said, Maddie, get you a hit, girl. Get you a hit, and sitting so close to where Bill's seats are. I mean, I know the girls can hear us. So, I mean, because it's only like 3 rows up, and it's right behind the plate. So I know the girls can hear us. And she socked one, man, right. I mean, just fast enough past the first baseman. The first baseman was a big girl, so she could cover a lot of ground. She could take up a lot of space. And, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully at all. She's just, it's just the way she's built. She's just, hard to get the ball past her. And, but Maddie just hit this almost like a slicing curve over the first base and right past her. I mean, tucked under the arm, almost like a really nice penalty kick in soccer, just perfectly placed to where that first baseman could not get it. So, and she walked off, and it was great to see that. Now, Annabeth, on the other hand, she does not like to have loud noises. She's still kind of, I know that they call this something. I know this is a real thing. It's like sensory, something sensory, like she doesn't really enjoy super loud noises. She doesn't really like the Clemson basketball games because they play the loud music and you can get really, it echoes pretty good in Little John Coliseum. She doesn't really like little games in Little John Coliseum for that reason, just for the loudness. Same thing with football. She's not, anytime you cheer, and I'm a big cheer, man, I got a loud voice, I got kind of a strong projection, and so she hates that, which is kind of tough. I know, but I know for little ears, it's different. But we enjoyed it, Bill. I really appreciate you allowing me to use your tickets to go to the game. after the game, I see in there where you're saying, did you get to meet number 72? We did not get to meet number 72. Val was still in the field. It was senior night, so there was a lot of parents there, and they were all hanging out and having a good time. We did not get to see them, but I did get to talk to Bo Collins a little bit. I told Bo that I wanted him to know that I, from day one, said he would be a breakout star as a freshman. Nobody believed me. They said, oh, no, it's too stacked. The roster's too full. I told Bo face to face, I said, Bo, I said preseason that you would be a breakout star on the offense. But I also admitted to Bo, I said, Bo, I never said the slot position, though. I don't think anybody expected you to do great at the slot position, but I thought he would get some playing time. I thought because of the spring game, he would get a lot of playing time, and he did. And I thought that he would have a great connection with DJ because of the spring game and because of high school, and he did. So, I'm a genius. I know. I know what I'm talking about here. So I talked to Bo, and then, Bo, from what I found out, he's dating Logaleo. And so Logaleo got a picture with Annabeth, so that was awesome. So I love her. Logaleo, I think she's 16, so that's my favorite number. So got a picture with her. And then her roommate is Ariel, Oda. And Ariel, and every time Ariel came up to bat, Annabeth was like, I love that name. This is my favorite name, favorite player name. Obviously it's a Disney character, right? So Disney princess. So she loved Ariel. So she got Ariel Oda's picture with her. So, and then we left because it was, it was hot. We were baking in the sun. It was just a little too much for a little kid, You only have so much time, but that's what I love. That's another reason why I love about softball games is because you really, games don't last super long, it was a good time. So we really appreciate the support, Bill, and allowing us to go. All right. So Mark Palmer gets in. He says, what football position group are you most interested in seeing how they perform this fall? What football position group? And I'll do this fireside chat kind of like I do the losers support group. And we'll just go down the chat and we'll go as long as we can go. I'll talk as long as I can talk. And I got my phone up. So as long, I'll try to pull up some articles to read through and just, get your marshmallows out, get your sweet tea, your cocoa, whatever you want, and then join me tonight. Your coffee. It's getting kind of late for that though. But so what football position group are you most interested in seeing how they perform this fall? Good question. I mean, I think it's easy to say anybody on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm going to try to stay away from the offensive side of the ball. Really, the first thing that pops up in my head is the linebackers because you're losing Skalski, you're losing Spector. Congratulations to both of those guys. James Skalski, if you haven't heard, is going to the Indianapolis Colts, signed as an undrafted free agent. I'm not really too familiar with how all that works. I'm still learning the NFL, but undrafted free agent, I'm assuming you don't get a ton of years with that. Maybe you only get 1 year, to show what you've got. If you know more about the NFL than I do, please get in the chat. Tell me the ins and outs of the undrafted free agent contracts and how they work. From what I understand, you got Skalski has gone to the Colts, and then you've got Balin Spector, who was actually drafted close to the end. There's a 262 players drafted. I think he was like 231. So, and it was the second player drafted. And if you read my article over on the roar.fm or the roarfm.com, roarfm.com, I mentioned that those were the two players that were drafted, and it was kind of surprising. I don't know about you guys, but it was surprising to me that the two guys drafted were those two, not Andrew Booth Jr., obviously, but Balin Spector being the second guy drafted was extremely surprising. And that was the only two. Now, I tried to look at it. Now, some writers said, well, this is the fewest since 2008 or whatever it may be. And I said, you know what, that's a negative way of looking at it. Let's not get too high on our horse here about Clemson football. And we know the struggles that they had. We know the injuries that they played through. We know the difficulties that they had. We know that the team as a whole didn't have a ton of seniors and guys that were going to go to the NFL. So to say, oh, well, they only had 2 drafted, it's the lowest since 2008 or whatever, since Dabo Swinney has been involved in the program. I think that's an unfortunate negative take that I try to not go with. So when I wrote my article, I went with the 71 players that Dabo has drafted since he's been a head coach at Clemson, and the 71 players places him second all time in college football in general, and that's a huge accomplishment for anybody. So I'm not really big. I try to avoid being negative. I try to avoid being negative when it comes to the draft and Clemson because, like I said, we need to be grateful and thankful for where Clemson is and what Clemson has become. And, drafting 71 players as a head coach is an amazing accomplishment. But back to Mark Palmer's question, I think it's the linebackers. I'm really interested to see who is going to be the middle linebacker. Who's going to actually fill that spot? Is it going to be Levonta Bentley? Is it going to be Jeremiah Trotter Jr.? Who else could it be in that position? Is it going to be Keith McGuire? I'm very interested to see who is going to be the middle linebacker and if they will stay that way or if it'll be more of a rotation. I don't know. I would like to see the defense. I wonder if the defense can be successful and not be so complicated where you can only have one guy taking 900 snaps at middle linebacker. To me, I think that it would be nice to have it maybe a little less complicated. And this is just me, though. Now, I might be completely ridiculous with this, but I'd like to see, more rotation in the middle linebacker position. I mean, you love to see James Skalski, but if he's the only guy playing middle linebacker consistently, and he goes out, the entire defense looks completely different. So for me, I'm interested in middle linebacker. I'm interested in weak side linebacker. Sergio Allen looked really good. Obviously, Trotter looked good. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be weak side. Allen looked good. I mean, I assume you'd probably see some Barrett Carter in there. He can a hybrid type guy. He could play. Obviously, Trenton Simpson is going to be your strong side guy, I assume. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know what you think. I mean, I really haven't looked into the depth chart recently other than, just what I saw in the spring game, which was really a hodgepodge. And thinking about the spring game, too, like, what do you think about the spring game format? I mean, Dabo, knowing so many people were injured and out, I almost think I wish that he would have changed it this year because, man, like it was not a really good showing from offense. It's really not much they could do because they didn't have a full offense on either side of the ball, But anyway, so linebacker would be my answer, my long answer. Mark, everybody knows in this channel, I'm going to give you a long answer. Maybe that's why I'm getting opportunities on the radio because I'm long-winded, man. I cannot give you a short answer. That's for sure. Bill gets in and says, we're still catching up in the chat, but Bill says, get an orange cover for your phone. Yeah, I should do that. I like the red, though. I like the red. Kevron says, go Tigers. Go Tigers. He also says Big Al is a great basketball player. Big Al is a great basketball player. He, like I said, he's too humble to admit it. He's way too humble to admit it. I'm echoing here. I'm going to share out this. I'm going to try to share this video over on Facebook. I've already shared it on Twitter. If you don't mind, do me a favor, hit the like button. We'll try to get some more because this was a last minute kind of show. I assume not a lot of people are knowing that it's going live. So I'm gonna try to share it to some groups here. Here we go. Let me change it here. All right, I'm gonna share it to some groups here over on Facebook. If you don't mind, if you could get in and help me out by sharing or at least hitting the like button for me. That would be much appreciated. And wouldn't you know, as I'm doing this, like I'm just getting a spinning circle. Wouldn't you know? Maybe I'll try. Maybe I'll try on here. So I'll go on the computer now. I was trying on my phone. That didn't seem to work. Trying to share it on my computer now. Here we go. It spinning wheel of death here. Here we go. Okay, now it's working. So we'll share it to places. Post it there. All right, finished posting there. Bear with me here with this. This is some housekeeping, as we say at work. Let me do some housekeeping here. We'll share it to Hill Watch. You know, that's a good group. All right. So I shared it out to 2 places, and now I'm back. All right. So yeah, Big Al is a great basketball player. Bill says, "Did you get to meet number 72?" I mentioned that. We did not. Bill says, "Van the Man is watching." Bill, you're going to have to explain to me, who is Van the Man? Who is Van the Man? I don't know Van the Man. You have to tell me. Bill also says, "Hansen played baseball at Elon and pitched against Clemson." Yep, Henson. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Henson. So yeah, they told me about Henson, their son, and that he was a good baseball player and that he beat Clemson. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool story. I loved it. And had so much information there. When they sat down, Bill, they said, "Are you Bill?" I'm sure they knew. They knew I wasn't Bill. I said, I am the younger version of Bill. I'm Bill in the past, and so we had a good time though. It was great, and great group there. And that's what I love about Clemson softball, is that there's not a bad seat in the house. And the girls are amazing, and they're fun. All of them have their own unique little spunky personalities. And there's no, like I said, the group of people that you sit with, you never know who you meet. There's a guy behind me to my right, sound like Henry McMaster, the governor McMaster. He was like a Southern gentleman, old guy. He's pretty awesome. Him and his wife. And then behind me, I don't know their name, but they were really helpful. They gave my daughter a straw because there's no straws. Clemson doesn't do straws. We got these little sippy cup type style things, and sometimes for kids that doesn't work. So you got to bring straws. You know what? We talked about this at the game. If you could sell straws outside of the stadium, you'd probably pay for your child's college. Just saying. It's a business idea. It's my idea. You're going to have to give me some credit for that. Tiger Paw Craven says, "What's up, Morgan?" What's up, Tiger Paw? I hope you're enjoying the fire. If you were at, I enjoy camping. I enjoy actual camping, though, like camping with a tent. Now, I'm not talking about glamping. Now, my dad, if you ask him, I say, "Dad, or would you ever go camping?" My dad says, "Son, I never go camping unless it was in a NASCAR RV. That's the only time my dad would ever go camping." And it's unfortunate because I love camping. I mean, I will camp in the smallest tent possible if I had to. I will camp in a big tent. I mean, I was in the Army, so it's not a big deal for me to camp. I frequently enjoy just camping out in the open, but you can get kind of bugs in that way. So, it's not always the best. But and if it rains, but we just get a tent from Sam's Club, and we go camping. And we enjoy it, and I like to do a s'more. Now, here's my thing on the s'more. We pre-cook these chocolate lover chunk cookies, so chocolatey chocolate. They're just like jet black, and they're just amazing. Betty Crocker, they're nothing special, but they're really good. Extra chocolatey chunk cookies. And I will make those into my s'more. So that I will substitute those instead of graham crackers. All right. So chocolatey chocolate chunk cookies smothered by marshmallows. Mushrooms would be bad. Marshmallows. Oh, man. Yeah. And Hershey's chocolate. on top of that. Just extra chocolatey. So much oozing chocolate. That's what I love. John Sarian says, my phone just pinged me. Must have been a last minute thing. Yes, John, this is a Fireside Chat. This is Fireside Chat Volume 1, where we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. But we would love to talk about Clemson. I'm just getting through the chat. I would like to talk about some subjects here. On Bleacher Report at the top of the hour, it looks like DeAndre Hopkins has been suspended by the NFL. So maybe we could talk about that. Suspension for one of Clemson's greatest ever NFL players and wide receivers. But yeah, this is last minute. I hope you enjoy. WB2DX, I need like a nickname for you. Give me a nickname. WB2DX is like the hardest thing to say sometimes. By the way, what is your picture? Is it just a radio? Is this a radio? What is your picture? You say, what's good, Morgan T? What's good? Well, what's good is that I got to, live another day. Got to exercise this morning. I got to spend time with my family. I got to work. I got to meet new people. And I get to finish the day up with a fireside chat with some of my favorite Clemson friends. So that's what's good. Bill Lanham gets in. Bill, happy to see Will Spires getting a shot with the Packers, even if Green Bay is a tough place to punt. Is Green Bay a tough place to punt? I don't know nothing about Green Bay other than sometimes it snows. I have gone to Wisconsin. I have been in Wisconsin. I've spent about a week there, 2 weeks there. I spent 2 weeks there. And I remember driving a big LMTV in the Army. And I went to Wisconsin. I went to Walmart. I went to Walmart in a big LMTV and to get Gatorades for the troops on my squad. And I pulled up to a red light, and at the red light was a horse and buggy, Amish family, horse and buggy, and scared the crap out of them. My big diesel truck scared the crap out of the horses. I felt bad. We both went to Walmart, by the way. So Amish people do go to Walmart. And I go in, and I'm in uniform, so I go in, I get my Gatorades, and I'm like, I got to find these Amish people. Why are Amish people at Walmart? I didn't even know they knew anything about Walmart or even need it. You know what they were doing? Buying yarn. That's what they were doing. Go figure that the Amish people were in there getting sewing equipment. Go figure. Of course, Amish people would go to Walmart. And that's what they would get. They wouldn't get the Gatorades, not going to get the ice cream sandwiches. They're going to get the yarn. I thought that was funny. But Will Spires getting a shot at the Packers. Let me see. Will Spires. Let's see. Minicamp, special teams duo. All right. So this is part of on TigerNet. The two Tigers off the special teams unit will get their NFL shot coming up. Pro Football Network's Aaron Wilson reported on Monday that punter Will Spires received a Green Bay Packers rookie minicamp invite. Long snapper Jack Maddox is headed to the New York Football Giants rookie minicamp. Spires was an original walk-on who earned a scholarship en route to becoming a 5-year starter at punter. He started 69 games, a Clemson modern FBS football record. Now, that's not true because it's tied with Skalski. As we know, Skalski also has played 69 games. So Skalski and Spires have both played literally 6 years of games or 5 years of games. That's crazy. He averaged 41.4 yards, fifth in school history on 292 career punts, finishing with 108 punts down inside the 20, 17 touchbacks, 59 punts of 50-plus yards. This is Will Spires. He also departed the school with records for career punts, 292, career punts of 50-plus yards, 59, career punts down inside the 20, 108, total punting yards, 12,095. Now, Will Spires averaged 41.4 yards. That's a big improvement from, I think, his first and second year. So his last 3 years, he really improved. He holds 3 of the top 6 seasons on record in the net punting average by a Clemson punter at the end of his career. He joins Christian Wilkins and Dalton Freeman as the only third Clemson player to ever earn 4 career All-ACC academic team selections. Maddox was an original walk-on, awarded a scholarship for his final 2 seasons. He snapped in 36 career games from 2017 to 2021, including 25 games as Clemson's starting long snapper from 2020 to 21. Did not have an errant or mishandled snap in his entire career. Wow. That's pretty great, man. I didn't know that about Maddox. Now, rookie minicamp invite. Now, let's look at about this here. All right, NFL camp, this is from HBCU Game Day, because I want to know more about this. As you guys know, oh my gosh, there's so many ads on these stupid websites. I'm trying to improve my knowledge of the NFL here. So rookie minicamp and undrafted free agent, not the same. Not all opportunities are equal. This year, let's see, what do they say? Contracts more of a priority. The biggest thing that separates an undrafted free agent from a player on a tryout is the opportunity to make a team. Undrafted free agents have signed contracts which represents a second tier of investment by the respective team. In the rookie pecking order, they are more of a priority than a camp invite. There aren't enough picks in the draft to select all the players who will ultimately make final rosters league-wide. Roughly 30% of the league consists of undrafted free agents. So while a player like say Marquise Bell wasn't drafted, and he was viewed as a priority by the Dallas Cowboys, which is why he was signed undrafted free agent. There are even more opportunities for undrafted free agents to have leverage in their situations. Undrafted players who are still a priority to teams can decide which team they'd like to go to if they have more than one suitor. Bell, for instance, had an offer from Philadelphia, but then chose Dallas. Camp invites are a long shot to make the team. There are no contracts given out to players who are invited to a camp tryout. These players already come in as a long shot chances because teams passed over the opportunity to sign them twice, once in the draft and then once as a free agent. Rookie minicamps will feature a mix of 40 to 60 players who are draft picks, undrafted free agents, and other tryout players. So 40 to 60 players who are draft picks, undrafted free agents, and tryout players. The players, more of an ad. Players there on a tryout will need to do something impressive and do it quickly to stand out. The mini camps are only running for 2 to 3 days. No 2 teams will conduct transactions the same way, but generally 15 to 20 guys get invited to camp, and a couple of the invitees might sign free agent deals when it's over. No one is guaranteed a roster spot in the NFL, but the undrafted free agent is more likely to survive rookie minicamp and make it to the preseason over camp invites. But the ultimate win is to make the regular season 53-man roster. During the offseason, teams can carry up to 90 players. All players at minicamp receive team-provided food, lodging, and per diem. During the preseason training camp, according to the NFL collective bargaining agreement, first-year players receive $1,700 per week, and veterans receive $2,900 per week per diem. You know what? I'm glad I did that. I'm glad we brought that up. So that's interesting about the undrafted free agents and the rookie minicamp. So Will Spires, Jack Maddox, both are part of minicamps, and they've been invited, but they're going to have to show up and show out quickly. So let's take a look at some more in the chat. Hope you're enjoying the warmth from the fire here. Again, as you can see, I can talk about anything. It's 39 minutes into this bad boy, and we've really talked about literally everything. S'mores, softball, and the draft. Also, my team that I'm looking for, my position group that I'm looking forward to the most, which was linebacker. Let me know what you think. John says, some writer also said this draft had the fewest number of original 5 stars. Not sure what that means, how it's calculated, or even if it's accurate. Well, thank you for the information. Fewest number of original 5 stars. What does original mean? Did they get moved up to a 5? Did they get upgraded to a 5-star after they realized that they had underrated them? So this draft in general was didn't have those typical superstars that you normally see or you wait for. I mean, last year, especially for Clemson fans, had the huge blessing to be able to get Trevor Lawrence drafted first overall in the first round, and then Travis Etienne drafted also in the first round. 2 offensive players that were great players for the university get drafted, so that was nice. This year, not so much. But again, still nothing to blow your nose at because the Tigers are still doing great as far as everybody else. WB2DX says, I want to see Cade on the field. Well, I understand that. I think that here's something that I thought of today. And this also talks about your second thing. I hear that Ross was picked up by the Chiefs. Interesting way to spell the Chiefs there. I love it. But going back to your original point of Cade on the field, I think that Justin Ross would have had Justin Ross obviously had a lot of injury issues. But the team as it was last year didn't do him any favors. And so I'm sure looking back, he's probably like, you know what? Coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he's not. I think sometimes that. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, done something different. That's what's unfortunate when you have a quarterback that's so inaccurate and inconsistent. But then you also have an offensive line that can't block at all. Rotated in and out all the time. Took forever to get better, and then finally when they got better, it was really more in the running game. So yeah, last year did no favors for Ross, but thankfully he was picked up as an undrafted free agent by the Chiefs, Kansas City. So we look forward to that. Cade, on the other hand, as you mentioned, when I look at the roster, if DJ is serviceable and can win games from the get-go, half the season is going to be over before he's really tested hard, I think. So I don't know. I mean, Wake Forest early on in the season doesn't scare me at all, especially after the game I saw last year where it looked like, they were little kids on the offensive line and Clemson had grown men on the defensive line and it just destroyed them. John gets in. John's also writing over on Rubbing the Rock, which is a fan-sided account, has gone through some new ownership, some new leadership. I guess same ownership, new leadership. And John is now a contributor over there. So go read some of his articles. Great writer. Enjoy his stuff. Obviously, I love it when Clemson fans write for Clemson outlets. There are so many outlets out there that are making money off of Clemson and are not fans really at all. And, but they still make money off Clemson the same. I'd rather read stuff from people that I know that are following Clemson very, very closely and also have a personal tie. I have personal ties. If you want unbiased stuff, you can go somewhere else, I guess. But for me, I like biased stuff personally, especially when it's biased leaning to the orange. But he says, if everyone was healthy, who starts at each receiver position? Good question. Well, let me pull up my roster. So, I have my sheet that I do. Twitter. Pull up my Google spreadsheet here, John, for you. And let me see if it will load. 2022 roster. Okay, here we go. We've got 11, 11 wide receivers on the team. Joseph Ngata, Drew Sweeney, E.J. Williams, Brandon Spector, Will Taylor, Dakari Collins, Bo Collins, Troy Stellato, Adam Randall, Antonio Williams, Cole Turner. Now, Cole Turner, Antonio Williams, I don't believe have actually played yet on the team. Troy Stellato is showing some improvement. Adam Randall is now hurt. Bo Collins, I think, is going to be fighting for a position. Dakari Collins also fighting for a position. Will Taylor maybe has to be behind Brandon Spector if he's healthy. If everyone is healthy, Joe Ngata's got your outside position. You got one of your outside positions. If everyone's healthy, it really all depends on who wins between E.J. Williams, Dakari Collins, Bo Collins at that point. Who can win that? I would love to see E.J. Williams win it. I think that he has potential to be amazing, but he's got to stay healthy. And if he can, back to your point, then I say you just go down the list. I think you're going to have Ngata, Williams, and Spector, but I could see one of the Collinses taking Williams' spot. So I could see Ngata, Spector, Bo Collins. I could see that. I could see that frequently too. Those are my quick thoughts there. By the way, Morgan, I like this format. Man has class. You know, this is the thing. If you can't sit around a campfire and talk about Clemson football with your friends, what kind of life are you living? What kind of life are you living, really? I like this, man. This was just an idea I had. We did a fireside chat. I stole it, okay? I promise you. It wasn't my idea. You know, we need to have like something like I don't need to just drink water. We need to have like some sort of, you know, special beverage for me to test out, or we need to have like some sort of special dessert while I eat here. By the way, I got some cookies. I should go get some. I should go get them and bring them in. I think I will take a break and get some, and eat a cookie here with you. By the way, if you're just in, this is a fireside chat about Clemson football, Clemson softball, Clemson basketball, Clemson baseball, Clemson anything you want to talk about. We can also talk about whatever you want to talk about because we're at the fire. We're at the campfire. We're enjoying each other. So yeah, it's a fireside chat. So get in, but make sure you hit the like button. That helps the algorithm. And then do another thing for me. Share it. That would be really helpful. Also, if you didn't know, about 4 weeks ago, once Kelly Gramlich decided to, continue her career path with ESPN and the ACC network and all her future endeavors, we wish her well. She's amazing. My favorite female play caller. And I mean, I love it when she calls basketball games. I think she has a very, very easy to listen to voice that not every guy or girl has, but she has it, and she's good. And her and Kwok are funny as all get out. I'm going to miss that the most. I'll be honest with you. My story about Kelly and Kwok is I was doing sales. I was a sales supervisor one day a couple years ago, and I just had the worst day of my career in that position. I had, my team wasn't listening to me. My boss was down my throat. My numbers weren't good. My paycheck was going to be bad, and I was just down in the dumps. I was down in the dumps, and that entire week sucked for me. And I would drive at lunch. I would drive to a little corporate park and had a little pond there. And I would just turn the car off and listen to Kwok and Kelly for lunch. And I'd have a sandwich or whatever. And, they're just funny. I mean, you're just, not serious, but they played well with each other, kind of like brother and sister a little bit, and or maybe longtime, spouses. But I know they're both married, separately. But so I would say brother and sister more in that sense. And they love each other. They like, they've been together on that show forever. And so I'm going to miss them a lot. I mean, it was a really fun show for me. to be a fan of, you know. But with her leaving, then now that opened up a rotation. So what they're doing is they're doing a rotation of producers, intern producers. I'm not an intern. I told them they can't give me that title. I'm one below an intern. I'm a YouTuber. So they have an intern on a Clemson student, Will. I can't remember his last name, but he's Monday, Tuesday. Then Faxon Childress, Mark Childress' son, Wednesday. Then I do Thursday on the Mickey Plyler Show. So if you're up in the early in the morning, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., I do the Mickey Plyler Show. And so I produce it. I go to breaks. I play the music. I call the guests, and I take the phone lines. I do the chat line, and I give my opinion, whenever I have a chance. So, but get in, show some love to that show. Mickey's great. He's been doing it forever. He knows a ton of people, super connected, and super knowledgeable about just Clemson in general. So I just love listening to him. And he's been doing the radio so long that I just love watching him work and learning how he does things. It's amazing to see how far I've come on the radio. I'll be honest with you. What was it? I'm sure you guys remember it if you followed the show, but maybe 3 years ago, I remember being a guest, being asked to be a guest on Walt Deptula's show for the first time ever. And I was literally shaking. I was shaking, and I only had 5 minutes. I said one or two things, and then he hung up on me, and that was it. And that's the only amount of time I had. But let me tell you something. I've come a long way. I'm not as nervous as I used to be. I still get nervous because I want to do good. I care about what I'm doing. But I don't get the jitters anymore. And I'm more confident in running a show. And I can run this show, so I know I can do digital stuff and produce and do this stream. But I also now I'm learning the radio board, so it's fun. I would like to maybe one day try play-by-play, but here's my thing about play-by-play. All the games you want to do play-by-play for are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I would prefer to do softball. If they had softball or baseball or basketball, I guess I'd prefer to do anything really. But softball, I really am invested in the team. I would prefer to do that. If it was ever on the radio, I would prefer to get a chance at that. But again, every softball game is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, it's takes up all your weekend if you want to do that, which I know it's just not, it's only a few hours, but man. But yeah, thank you. So this man has class. I appreciate it. Like I said, get you a drink, hopefully water. And enjoy the fireside. Yes, it is a radio. Thank you for telling me that. It looks like a radio. Speaking of radio, I have a 2009 Honda Accord. I wonder how hard it is to get an aftermarket radio, or like an aftermarket stereo, because it's got it's just literally the baseline Honda Accord. It's paid off. That's all I care about. It has no bells and whistles, literally none. But I wouldn't mind putting in a new stereo, like a touchscreen maybe, or at least something that had Apple Play, CarPlay or something where I could, sync my phone up to it. I would like to have that, but I don't know how much that costs. I'm sure it's going to cost a lot. And then second of all, it's a big panel there. It's not like my Jeep where it's just like one panel, but with the Honda Accord, it's like everything is all connected. So when I'm looking at it, it's all this one big plastic piece. So I'm like, man, if I replace this radio system, I'm going to have to take this whole plastic piece off. But yeah, anyways. You can just say Tiggs. All right, Tiggs. I'll call you Tigsy. I like Tigsy. I'll say Tigsy here. JP says Jack Maddox got an invite by the Giants. We did talk about that. Mark Childress gets in, says, what's cracking? What's cracking is the fire. Hopefully you can hear the fire. Maybe, I don't know if you're saying what's cracking, what's crack-a-lacking. Like what's going on is like slang. Mark, are you giving me some old school slang here? What's crack-a-lacking? Well, what's crack-a-lackin' is I had a good day. I hope you had a good day. Hey, by the way, if you're in right now, I've already shared it on a couple of groups on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, I wouldn't mind if you'd share it to your own page and tell your friends about it. And just like the video. If you don't want to do any of that, just like the video. That would be the best help. If you're on YouTube, you can share as well, however you want to share. I know there's not I don't really know the best way to share on YouTube other than to just share it to, your friend or something. But I'm definitely going to do more firesides like this because I like just randomly talking. I really do. So. Did you see Will Sweeney going to the NFL? Oh man, I did not see this. Let's see. Will Sweeney. Will Sweeney. Dabo's son. I knew he was an intern with Lion J, JKJ's, thing. You got to be kidding me. There's no way. I don't see anything like that. Did you see Will Sweeney going to the NFL? Or do you see? Oh, okay. It's not did you see. I got to read. See, Tigsy, I got to read these things. I got to read what you're saying to me. He's not. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a great assistant coach one day. If he wants to do that. Mark Palmer over on Facebook gets in with another question. He says, random Clemson question. What's your favorite Clemson restaurant that is no longer there? Mine was Chinello's, maybe the Green Olive. Favorite Clemson restaurant that's no longer there? Well, I don't know of very many, to be honest with you. I know of one. So I really didn't. I graduated from Clemson's MBA program, but that was in downtown Greenville. So I never was on campus. When we were going through undergrad, I was in the Army for Alan. When Alan and I graduated, he went straight to Clemson. I went to the Army, and I went to Iraq. During his freshman and sophomore year, I was in Iraq. And then late sophomore year, spring sophomore year, I came back and I started part-time at Anderson University. And it was really close to my house, my mom's house. So that's one of the reasons why I chose there. But I also needed a small university because I was kind of intimidated and my grades were terrible, but they let me in as a veteran. So I got my MBA later on, actually 4 years ago. Crazy to think. I got my MBA 4 years ago from Clemson, but it was downtown. So I never was on campus. Obviously, my favorite restaurant that is there is, there's two. And there is the Charleston Sports Pub of Clemson, but there's also the Mellow Mushroom, which I would probably say the Mellow Mushroom because I just love pizza. I would say the Mellow Mushroom is my favorite restaurant there, and I love the Pate family and the Niners. Man, they're an amazing family and just great people. So the owners are amazing, and the atmosphere is amazing, and the pizza is freaking amazing. So Mellow Mushroom is great for me. But now your question is that's no longer there. So now the only place that I know that is no longer there that I used to patron is when I was in the Army Reserves there, right as you enter into Clemson. It's now a National Guard building, but it used to be an Army Reserve building, and I used to drill there sometimes at the very beginning when I had BDUs. When we came back from Iraq, we moved to the Donaldson Center. But I used to drill in Clemson, and we would always go to the Western Sizzlin'. And I used to get their steak tips and mashed potatoes and gravy and okra and rolls. And, man, it was amazing. And it was free, so I loved it even more that it was free. But, that's like a Ryan's, kind of miss the Ryans out there. So I enjoy it. I love this troll here. So we have Bozo the Clown. Of course, Bozo the Clown gets in. Whoever has the time to make a Bozo the Clown. YouTube channel. So funny. Why is this pure crap? I don't know, Bozo. I don't know, but you're here. You're here. And you're part of it. So you cannot avoid it. It is part. You're part of the show now. You are a part of the reason why it's either crap or good. Tig says, what? That radio is a two-way radio. I can talk around the world at times. So my neighbor's a big two-way radio guy. I was in communications in the Army, but I did fiber optics, so I don't know nothing about radios, really. He says, do you think he will go? Yeah, so he's talking about Will Sweeney? I don't think so. I mean, honestly. By now, you're seeing people getting in the mini camp invites by now, so. Scott Bennett over on Facebook says, BGR. Is BGR not there anymore? They used to do commercials on the Roar. I guess BGR is not there anymore. I met Taj Boyd for the first time at BGR and shook his hand for the first time. Beth Ingram Webb says, I love the drinks at Mellow Mushroom. Yeah. Of course, I don't really drink. I am more of a Coke Zero guy, so give me some of that. Bozo the Clown's got some time on his hands. Of course, people don't understand. I don't get offended very easily. And he's not saying anything offensive anyways, but Bill, I miss Four Paws. Oh yeah, you know what? I didn't even think about that, Bill. I had a chance to really tee up the Four Paws there. Beth beat me to it. I should have, said Four Paws. But I'll be honest with you. I know they're doing Eggs Up Grill now. So Eggs Up Grill is really nice too. Scott Bennett says no. He means no. BGR is not there. That's crazy. We're done. We're through the chat. Tigsy says Bozo is just that, a bozo, which for sure. So let's get into let's look at the Bleacher Report real quick. So the first thing that I saw that was Clemson related was DeAndre Hopkins suspended. Cardinals Pro Bowl wide receiver being suspended 6 games for violating NFL's PED policy. So let's read more. Joseph Zucker over on Bleacher Report suspended DeAndre Hopkins for 6 games following a violation of the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. Doug Sanders, Hopkins' brand manager, issued a statement Monday night noting the receiver's camp is testing every product he has used to determine what caused the positive test. It's kind of like an Osterine thing. Hopkins later issued the statement of his own, which he apologized. Adam Schefter first reported it, but and Adam Schefter reported that the suspension. Ian Rappaport of NFL Network says that he has withdrawn his suspension appeal. Depending on when the team might have been made aware of this, could have improved or provided more context behind why they traded for Marquise Hollywood Brown from the Baltimore Ravens. Hopkins will have missed 10 straight regular season games by the time he is eligible to suit back up for the Cardinals. He missed Arizona's last 4 contests as well as the NFC wildcard round due to a knee sprain. Not surprising, the team took a big drop on offense for that. Let me go to his Twitter. It is not. Tell you what, man, this Bleacher Report app is trash. Trash. Nothing loads. Man, maybe I'm just doing it wrong. D-Hop, sorry for suspension. So, all right, here we go. Now it loads on the actual website. Okay, so he says, in my 10-year NFL career, I have never tested positive for using performance-enhancing drugs. To learn that my November test, so it wasn't even recent, but his November test came back with trace elements of a banned substance. I was confused and shocked. I am very mindful of what I put in my body and have always taken a holistic approach, which I agree with. I mean, from what I've heard from him, that sounds accurate. So I'm working with my team to investigate how this could have happened. But even as careful as I've been, clearly I wasn't careful enough. For that, I apologize to Cardinals fans, my teammates, and the entire Cardinals organization. I never want to leave and let my team down. I fully intend to get to the bottom of this. As soon as I have more information, I will share it. Well, we'll be looking for that. Gamecock JT in the chat says, how do you accidentally take PEDs? I expect nothing less from a Clemson grad. Well, what a dummy there. Some companies lace their products with banned substances. I don't know. And athletes knowingly take these products, which should likely be SARMs, which I think is like Ostarine type thing. Olympic athletes coincidentally pop due to sunscreen. You go do some research, and you ignorantly believe that multiple athletes takes the same over-the-counter supplements without knowing what's in them. A lot of argument about this. Go figure, yeah, the Gamecocks are big on talking about, well, it's Ostarine, right? Kyler Murray's going to have a hard time without him. I love Hopkins. Somebody says, I love Hopkins, but he's never going to share what made him test positive. Interesting. Who knows? I wonder, from the original report of what he said, or what was found, it was kind of crazy. Hopkins, as a result of a November drug test, came back to trace elements of banned substance. DeAndre and everyone who works with him is completely shocked by this finding because he is extremely diligent about what he puts in his body. I don't know. Some of the stuff I heard was like, some pretty crazy stuff. I can't find the tweet now. But he'll be out in 6 weeks, is what it looks like. See you in week 7 is what he says. So he's not gonna return till week 7. Interesting take for Hopkins there. Tough news. Tough news for him. For the Cardinals, for sure. Because, he's one of the best, or, I would say the best wide receiver in the game. Maybe Jamar Chase would be second best. So let's see. What else we got on. What else we want to talk about tonight? DeAndre Hopkins. Let's look for Clemson football news. Grace Rayner says, she's written a column, says everyone's arguing about NIL and collectives and pay for play right now. But we shouldn't forget the good NIL can do in the future in a case like Justin Ross. The good that you can do. I guarantee you, if I go, Tig says the test was in November. How'd they just now find out? I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe they're too busy doing COVID tests still. I don't know. I don't understand this. I don't know if I can even read this article because The Athletic is like a subscriber-based article or a website. I might not even be able to read this. And the internet's terrible right now, so at least for me. Um. Oh man, I got halfway through the article. I started scrolling and it popped up the subscribe. You need to subscribe. All right, so back to the next one. So I don't know what Grace Rayner's talking about with Justin Ross and being in the good that the NIL can do, because I really don't remember much of Justin Ross doing anything with the NIL. I mean, I know he had he tried to sell T-shirts, right, of his picture of him making that catch in the national championship game, and then um, other than that, I really don't know. Um, I really don't know what other things Justin Ross did. That's what really scares me about a lot of these NIL things is you hear players getting NIL deals and then you never see them actually sponsoring something or promoting something. And they get these supposedly these big deals, but you never really see what they're actually doing. I mean, Bryce Young supposedly has six figures more, reaching over 1 million, and he's in Alabama. And I would assume, wouldn't his face be all over every billboard, every commercial possible? And I don't really see it. I mean, is the Cash App the one place paying him everything? And he only is last time I checked, which was a few months ago, he didn't even have any posts about the Cash App. And so that kind of stuff bothers me. Like, if you're getting these NIL deals, I should be seeing more work from you. I mean, that's just my opinion. All right, from CUTigers.com on Clemson football on Bleacher Report. Breaking: former Clemson wide receiver Justin Ross signs with the Chiefs. If he was allowed to go pro after this freshman pick was taken, which is a picture of him catching that one-handed catch from Trevor Lawrence in the national championship game, he would have been a top 15 pick. But at least he wound up on a Super Bowl contender with a great quarterback and offense. Go get him all in wide receiver U. I don't think Clemson really can claim wide receiver U right now. It's been kind of a struggle the past couple of years being wide receiver U. Obviously, it's great. It's a great opportunity to be an undrafted free agent going to a place like the Kansas City Chiefs when you have Patrick Mahomes, who is such a great quarterback and is an improvised master. I fully expect Justin Ross to get on the team, to get to tryouts, to get to minicamp and show out and continue to earn a roster spot. I believe that he deserves a roster spot in the NFL. I don't know how easy it will be. Obviously, the odds are against him, but at least as we mentioned and we read before that Tiggs, I can't say that. I can't say that on here. I'm not going to say that. I'll leave it in there. I'll leave it in chat. I can't say it. But yeah, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are a good spot for him. They obviously don't have Tyreek Hill anymore, which is a huge loss, but not the worst loss in the world because they still have playmakers, like Travis Kelce. And, if they get Justin Ross in there, then that would be a good addition to their wide receiver core. I do believe that he can have success in the NFL. I think he needs that opportunity. And it's crazy to think. I think there was a stat out there. I actually I know this stat because I wrote about it, but there were only 9 wide receivers that had more than 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. And Justin Ross was one of those wide receivers. Of the 28 wide receivers that were taken in the draft, 9 of them had the same stats or better than Justin Ross, and Justin Ross really only played 2 years. So a lot of those wide receivers that were taken were late bloomers or had one good year, but Justin Ross had 2 decent, one great year and one decent year, with a little bit of fall off. But those freshman and sophomore year for Ross were really good and still better than a lot of the other wide receivers that were actually drafted. So that's very interesting to me. He confirms that he signs with the Chiefs. So a lot of people are excited about that. A lot of people wrote about that. Will Vandervoort, Grace Rayner, CU Tigers. He's on the 90-man roster. Um, Woody Whitehurst over on Twitter. Um, you know, I was surprised to see Balin Spector get drafted. I wouldn't normally say that you would think Balin Spector would be one of those guys. At least not the second and last guy drafted for Clemson. I think his pro day really helped him a ton and showing his speed. And it seems like people in the NFL they really rely on measurables. Specifically the 40-yard dash, which I think is just bogus because they're wearing underwear. I think it's completely bogus. But it helps guys like Balin Spector who can show how athletic he is without pads. And Balin Spector, sneakily enough, led the team in tackles in 2020, and he was able to really show out what he could do for the team and improve the team. So Balin Spector definitely overall a guy who I think could contribute. But again, a lot of people worried about the speed on the linebacker position. And going back to what Mark Palmer said, that's why I'm really interested about the linebacker position, because I feel like that the linebackers that Clemson has had over the years have not been the fastest. And teams like Ohio State and Alabama have really hurt Clemson with across the middle routes that have really targeted the linebackers and tight ends that have targeted the linebackers one-on-one. And so I'm interested to see what a Clemson defense looks like with a lineup like, say, Barrett Carter, Trenton Simpson, and Levante Bentley, or Barrett Carter, Trenton Simpson, and Travis or Jeremiah Trotter, or anybody else really. I'm interested to see Sergio Allen, the other likes out there that are linebackers that I feel like are due to show out from what they can do. I think Clemson has gotten faster at the linebacker position. And I look forward. Maybe they definitely lost a lot of experience, though, but and maybe hard hitting guys. But even still, I mean, Trenton Simpson is a hard hitter, and Bentley's a hard hitter, so Trotter's a hard hitter. So Carrie Beth gets in and says Chanelo's was the best. What is Chanelo's? I'm gonna need to know this. What is Chanelo's? I did not go there. I have never been there. I'm gonna have to look this up. Is there even a Chanelo's anymore, or was it like a one time? Was it a one time place, or is it a franchise? Let's see. They just moved. So Chanelo's. Was a local pizza for you younger guys. Okay, this is from TigerNet. This is when Clemson Dabo Swinney promises pizza to the fans if they win the national championship. Somebody said, "Well, I want pizza from Chanelo's," and then somebody says, "What's Chanelo's? Is this a new place?" And Chanelo's will also always be the gold standard of Clemson pizza. They were right beside Mr. Knickerbocker's for many years, served thousands of drunken, hungry college students over the years. This is funny. Chanelo's. Okay. I don't know. I don't know nothing about Chanelo's, but I do know that melon mushroom is good. And that's where I go. Tig says, hope the Lawrenceville Jags have got Trevor some help on the O-line this draft. The Jaguars. The Jaguars draft. Let's look. I don't know. I mean, their 2 first round draft picks were defensive players. So let's go and see what the Jaguars drafted this year. And I think they did well. Oh, come on. All right, so they drafted Trayvon Walker first overall, which is a guy who is a hybrid guy who's played many different positions, and is worrisome to me because he's Trent Baalke's guy. They're banking on that he's an elite player, that he has all these intangibles, and he can be a hybrid guy, and he can just be disruptive with the rest of the team, like Josh Allen and you know. Chase on, right? But I worry about Walker because he played on the Georgia Bulldogs, and the Georgia Bulldogs had a stacked defense that got drafted. I mean, it drafted like a ton of players this year in the draft. So I worry about Walker taking advantage of, everybody else worrying about everybody else. So I don't know, but he's an edge rusher. They're looking to sack the quarterback, which I think is, the most important thing for defense. Stop the pass, sack the quarterback. Devin Lloyd was their linebacker that they chose, and he was drafted later in the first round, but was projected one of the best all-around middle linebackers in the draft. And so they landed late in the first round, basically the consensus best all-around, all-purpose middle linebacker type Devin Lloyd guy from Utah. So they really improved 2 levels of their defense, especially going against the quarterback. And then they picked up a center, Luke Fortner from Kentucky. Luke Fortner was a burly center. So according to PFF, a burly center with experience starting at all 3 interior positions. So he's had tackle, guard, and center experience. So that's good. He's one of the most consistent centers in FBS in 2021, posting an 85 overall grade. So a very consistent center for the Jaguars, and a guy who could rotate if he needs to. Then they got Chad Muma from Wyoming, a linebacker. Then they got Snoop Connor from Mississippi, a running back. And then they added 2 cornerbacks, Gregory Jr. from Wichita. I don't even know if I'm saying that. OU. Wichita, Baptist. I feel like I'm saying that completely wrong because that sounds like an army base that I can't remember the name of. But anyways, and then Monterick Brown from Arkansas, another cornerback. So if you listen to the Jaguars, PFF gave them a C+ on day 1. They got Trayvon Walker. They're banking on his elite traits, the schematic reasons why Walker didn't post Gaudy number at Georgia, but there's still plenty of risks involved taking him number 1 overall. He had only a 10% pressure rate in 3 seasons with the Bulldogs. Jacksonville takes advantage of a big prospect slide by trading up to number 27 for Devin Lloyd, who was slotted as the 15th overall player for PFF's big board, the favorite to be the first linebacker drafted. There are a few bones to pick with Lloyd's game as a prospect. He's explosive, intuitive, and boasts the frame and physicality at what NFL is looking for. Lloyd was one of only 4 college players at the position to earn a 90+ PFF grade in 2021. Day 2, he got a powerful offensive lineman in Luke Fortner. He isn't great getting to the second level, and either in locating linebackers or disengaging from combinations. He fits a real area of need, but he fits a real area of need for the Jaguars. So they only improved their offensive line there, Tigsy, with 1 center. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a help on the offensive line, as you mentioned. So Tigsy says, I was told today on the Bills channel that Spector was too small to play. So let me tell you what PFF says about the Bills' choice of him. I actually don't think they even said anything, to be honest, about because Balin Spector was round 7, 231. They really didn't even talk about him at all. I don't even know if they even gave him a grade. He's 6 foot tall, 275. We'd have to look at NFL.com. For his prospect profile. So NFL.com says of Balin Spector, he was graded a 5.83, an average backup or a special teamer. He had a 4.6 40-yard dash, a 36-inch vertical jump, and a 122-inch broad jump. He has 10-inch hands, 31.5-inch arms. Overview. Reliable worker bee who plays with impressive instincts and fundamentals that can keep him in position and near the action. Spector is an average athlete with average size, but he struggles to attack and unglue from blocks on a consistent enough basis. He's an excellent finisher when facing down runners in the hole, but average length and agility drop his finishing rate substantially when he's forced to tackle on the move. Spector is rock solid, but won't make plays beyond what's expected. He has backup value as an inside linebacker or a 4-3 will. I would agree. I agree. He's really looking at a will linebacker type position, for the Buffalo Bills there. So interesting to see the take there. I appreciate everybody getting in over on the chat, talking about pizza, s'mores, softball. We talked about football, the NFL draft. If you haven't heard already, if you're still watching, we also have I also go on Mickey Plyler's show from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Thursdays. So be sure to check that out. Let's see. I'm going to not use my phone here because it just seemed to really not want to load anything. Stanley Cup is getting started. I don't know anything about hockey. I knew nothing about hockey. And let's see. Let's see if there's more Clemson news, college football. College football or Clemson news out here. Quarterback battles still up in the air. I wonder if they're going to talk about Cade and DJ. So the next article here is from Bleacher Report. It says quarterback battles still completely up in the air following spring practices. This is from David Kenyon a couple of days ago. And he goes through the list here. So we're looking at the first team up there on the list. I don't know if it was alphabetical order or how it happened. The Clemson Tigers, although the arrival of five-star Cade Klubnik sparked intrigue at Clemson, head coach Dabo Swinney slowed that discussion. According to Davis Potter of the Clemson Insider, Swinney said incumbent DJ Uiagalelei is definitely our starter. And I agree. I mean, when you look at the schedule and the games yet to be played, and the games that were played, and DJ was the quarterback, I don't doubt that he can't manage those games effectively and still win. So I still feel like that he can get by and win 5-6 games without being really challenged. I know Wake Forest comes in early. That doesn't bother me. NC State, I can't think kind of middle of the schedule maybe. That would be a concern, NC State. And then by the time you get to Notre Dame, you really haven't played that hard of a schedule, in my opinion. So you really don't know. The November schedule is really when it starts to really heat up. You got your Louisville, you got Notre Dame, you got Miami, you got South Carolina, and by that time, it's late in the season. I don't really know. I don't really know if DJ would have done enough to really lose his job. When Notre Dame comes around, so I really can foresee him not being challenged much at all, just because he doesn't do anything to lose the job. Now, when you look back at like Kelly Bryant of the world, I mean, they didn't really do much to lose the job either. But there comes a point where you have to just make a decision, and you have to know what you have to do, what you have to do, right? So maybe that's what you do. Iowa Hawkeyes, Spencer Petras helped Iowa reach the Big Ten championship game, yet he hasn't cracked 6.5 yards per attempt. He's got some other guys that are Michigan Wolverines. I know that was a big one that I read a lot. They're eager to see 5-star J.J. McCarthy take over, but a shoulder injury has limited him the last few weeks. McCarthy is fully expected to contribute this year, but leaping Cade McNamara on the depth chart will be a challenge. They basically were a run-first team, run, punt team for the Michigan Wolverines. So, J.J. McCarthy is somebody who could definitely improve him. 5-star guy out of 5-star guy out of IMG Academy in Florida, but originally from LaGrange Park and Illinois, and he's currently a sophomore and was the 5th best quarterback in his class when he came out. So enrolled last January. So he's already been there one season, and he enrolled early. So interesting to see. We're going to barbecue the chickens again this year. Yeah, I think so too. I don't really see, when I watch the South Carolina spring game, it's kind of hard to say, because when you're watching the South Carolina spring game, you think, wow, they have a really good defense. They have a really good defensive line. But no, excuse me. I think, let me take that back. They have a really good running game, right? But then I'm thinking, maybe they just have a terrible defensive line. Maybe they just have a terrible defense altogether, and that's why their running game was good in the spring game. Now they do have 3 decent running backs, but again, what was their competition? So back to this article about QB battles. So there's still more to know from Clemson, Iowa, and Michigan. Auburn has a QB battle. TJ Finley, who originally was at LSU, but now they've added Texas A&M's Zach Calzada and Oregon's Robbie Ashford, while losing Bo Nix to Oregon. So there's 2 players fighting there, 2 or 3 players fighting there. LSU Tigers. So LSU has a quarterback battle for Brian Kelly and team. Miles Brennan is the injury-plagued veteran. Arizona State transfer Jaden Daniels is the most experienced. I would assume, I would probably put my money on Jaden Daniels. I think he did great at Arizona State. I'd be interested to see what he can do in the SEC. Notre Dame Fighting Irish also have a quarterback battle. Ty Buckner rolled his right ankle shortly after the scrimmage. Drew Payne is kind of the backup there. So they're competing there. The Ole Miss Rebels filling in the gap for Matt Corral. You got Luke Altmaier and Jackson Dart. Altmaier was the backup for Corral, but only played in garbage time. Dart, meanwhile, transferred from USC and brings 6 games of experience. So it'll be interesting to see what those 2 can do. Oregon Ducks have a QB battle. Bo Nix, Ty Thompson, and Jay Butterfield shared reps in the spring. New coach Dan Lanning's going to have to try to figure out what they're going to do with the 4-star prospect Thompson and Butterfield. And then you obviously have Bo Nix coming from Auburn there. You got to think Bo Nix would probably have the upper hand, just considering all the experience that he has. Another ACC team here, the Pittsburgh Panthers, losing Kenny Pickett. By the way, Kenny Pickett to the Steelers there in the NFL draft in the first round, first quarterback picked in the NFL draft this last year. They got Nick Patty as a longtime backup, but they also have Keaton Slovis from USC, who had a good freshman year. So is it going to be Slovis, considering he has the experience and is kind of the front runner maybe? We'll have to see there. Texas Longhorns and Steve Sarkisian have Hudson Card and superstar transfer Quinn Ewers from Ohio State, who was originally from Texas. So to me, I think Quinn Ewers wins that one. If he doesn't, that would be crazy. And then Texas A&M Aggies. So you got Haynes King, who was a guy I really liked last year, but then he got injured and broke his right ankle in the second game of the season. Max Johnson transferred from LSU, had some arm injuries. He was a starter after arm injuries to Miles Brennan, but he transferred from LSU, and he's got 2,800 yards and 27 touchdowns on 6 interceptions. So you got to think maybe he could be a big deal there for the Aggies. But then you've got Connor Wegman, which I know on Twitter everybody's calling for Connor Wegman. In the class of 2022, he was the second best quarterback in that class, right behind Cade Klubnik. So he was, another Texas guy from Cypress, Texas, that is a current freshman, 6'2", 208 pounds, a little bit bigger than Cade coming in. So we'll see what he can do. Connor Wegman, a lot of Texas A&M fans just want to go ahead and see him. So will he be able to skip Mac Johnson and Haynes King? I don't know. It's interesting to see what is going on for the other college football teams around the league in their college football battles. I don't know enough about all these teams to give an honest opinion, but I do know a little bit about each player. But I can give you my 2 cents. But we'll just have to see. We'll have to let the games play out and see what happens. All right, so it's been an hour and a half. We're getting late. Seems like we got dwindling down in our viewership here. I don't want to keep up anybody because we all have to go to work tomorrow, because tomorrow is Tuesday. So I hope you enjoy, get some rest, enjoy the rest of your week. And I believe we will have it. Yes, we will have a live show on Thursday. So check us out. Houston will be in. Hopefully Big Allen Adams will be in. And then so Thursday night, 7 p.m. right here on YouTube and Facebook. And then on Thursday morning, if you're in local or on the app, you can listen to me and Mickey Plyler on the Mickey Plyler Show on 105.5 The Roar. So hope you have a good rest of the night and a good week. And as always, Tiger fans, we'll see you at the top of the hill.